again. I'm back now for the next section. So we've got the blocking in done, and now we need to get the middle section done. I haven't quite got everything completed, but I wanted to keep it just to 20-minute intervals. So I think perhaps that's a little bit too dark. Yeah, I think this looks good. Just to put a little bit more pastel along there and here. So I've got a brighter orange now, I think that's yellow 8. So I want to get some of this in. I can actually go over the top of some of the yellow and some of that dark orange. We'll get some rather nice effects. So just gently, I'm just using the heel of the pastel. I'm using it with very little pressure. So the harder you apply the pressure with your pastel, the more pastel it's going to leave behind, so you can get lots of different kind of effects. So what you're going to be achieving here, your darks are going to make your lights lighter, and your lights will make your darks darker, so it works quite nicely. We need to get some of these colours in here as well, because we've got, this is all wet sand and it's got lots and lots of reflective colour from the sky. And I've got a little cockle in my paper there. I've got, I think it's a piece that had got a little bend in it. I didn't realise. It's as tough as old boots, this paper. You can take it off. If you do make mistakes, you just use a brush. You can just take it off with a brush really easily. Might remove that orange there. And then you can actually use a putty rubber, which will take it right back to your paper, and you could apply more. So if you've made a mistake, it's really easy. It's very, very good for beginners, is pastels, people come into art, because it's very, very, very forgiving. So I really want to get these merging a little bit. If we get some nice lights up against the purples, it's going to really make it stand out. So all of this area here is quite a lot lighter, and I'm going to push some of this in shortly. We need the darker one, which I think this might be alright. too pink, that one. Oh, same one. Just want something a wee bit darker. Let's have a look. No, that's too dark. Something in between. Yeah, that looks alright. That might be good on top of the orange as well. I need to get a little bit more of that colour in just to strengthen it up. It's best to go tentatively. If you get too much pastel on, then you really get things clogged up a little bit. But we can always go back and apply keep the water horizontal. So where we've got these reflections on the sand, it all needs to be kept with a horizontal feel to it. I think some of this orange can come right the way through. And then we can lighten some of this as well. So if we lighten it up, it's going to really make those darks stand out. I want to bring it along here and along this area and against that cloud. So I'm going to push this in now, and again I'm going to get the ball and baton to do this. So just push it in quite firmly, but not too hard that you're going to rub your skin away. I've used a sanded paper like this for a lot of years now, and I love it. It just takes so much pastel. So you'll see now it won't look as bright. Once you start to push it in, it kind of knocks it down a key or two. So just be careful not to get the colours too mixed up. I'm going to restore the sunshine, like here. I need a lilac now just to go over the top of the sand. This is a Conte, this is a purple. That kind of knocks it back a little bit, it kind of neutralises the orange, but it does still give that lovely shiny feel of reflective light. And I have a darker one too, which I'm going to put a little bit on. That's quite a dark one. So you can hear that that's a lot harder pastel. I do seem to have got a very uneven horizon there. Let's see if we can rescue that. Right, with some of this blue. Just lighten it up a little bit. Oh, that's better. So the contours are rather good to give some good effects. I'm just going to use a little bit of this one. That's the one I've been using, that purple, dark purple one. You can blend with them. So this is another of the oranges of unison. Want to lighten up along this horizon line. And a good tip there is to just, oh, before I do that, this is my dark purple Sonelia. I'll pop it on there because you won't see it on here. That's 478. And it's very useful. It's very useful in animal work for getting the darks. So that's really going to give some power along there. I'm going to pop a little bit in the sea as well as these upper clouds. I want to get a bit more depth, especially in that one, and a little bit in here as well. So again, I'm just going to drag across the horizon just to keep that line soft. I'm having to be quite quick with this. I would have been much slower had I been doing this as a completed painting that I was going to set for sale. This isn't right here. That needs to be lightened up a little bit more and made with a little bit more of a nicely coloured pastel. It looks a bit dull. I'm going to take that right across my sun. I'm going to start now to just, I'll come perhaps to this part of the painting a little bit later because I want to really bring some of these. This is a lemon. Actually, I think this is yellow 6. I'm not just sure what that one's. I think it might be yellow 9. I did say about going over the top of colours, if you've not got a thick amount of colour, a thick layer, oops, I had a dirty finger there, then you will get a covering. It's always difficult when you're doing a sky, when you've got trees and branches, you know, how you actually work it with pastel. But if you get a sort of like a thin wash like you would do with a watercolour or an acrylic, then you will get the branches over the top of the pastel without it interfering too much with the colour. So I want to lighten some of these areas up. The main light is at this area here, so we can now shape the clouds by using the negative space that's surrounding them. So I'm pressing on quite hard here just to get some impact. And then I've got the stronger yellow here. I do like the strong colours with pastel. You tend to get some really vibrant colour. And it doesn't dry lighter, which is really quite a nice plus to it. So you can see how we can shape round some of these. Sorry, to shape round some of these clouds. I'm sorry, when you're concentrating sometimes it's really difficult. You tend to sort of forget about talking. It's like the book, isn't it? About both sides of your brain. You can't paint and talk at the same time. That's apparently what it's about. So it can be quite difficult, but we get by. So all the time you're just making little adjustments. I think we need a little bit more lilac. This is actually a Rembrandt pastel. I'm not just sure what shade of purple it is. I just haven't got this in unison, and it's a really good colour. It's a harder pastel, so it'll give it a sort of a nice graduation with glazing. So I think we're almost there for the next 20 minutes. I'll just a little bit down on the sand there. The cat being fed was clearly more important than my painting at that moment in time. I think that was my husband coming to rescue the cat for a tea. So there we are. So I think we've just about got the 20 minutes up for this session. So a little bit of blending in if you want to, and just to carry on. Just tidying up. Some of these clouds will want a little bit of relief on them. So the next 20, we'll just develop this area up and to get the little wavelets on and get the finishing touches onto the painting.